The greatest movie ever made turns 53 today, so let's talk 2001: A Space Odyssey. I understand that with a lot of people, 2001 doesn't come with a ton of enthusiasm. Stick with this review because there's a way that you can watch 2001 and walk away feeling like you have just seen something absolutely incredible, but you have to know what it is and you have to be willing to go with it. There are two things that a movie needs to be absolutely incredible. First, obviously, an incredible story, and then pairing that with outstanding visuals. So what does that mean? First of all, let's start with the story. It starts in Africa with a tribe of primates, and they come in contact with this giant monolith. The monolith is what gives them the information to realize that they can use tools to expand their tribe, making them the dominant primate. And that's whenever we get that incredible match cut, and it cuts together seamlessly, taking you millions of years into the future. So now we're in the present day, and we go on a ballet showing us the modern technology that we now have. And what's happening through all this? Haywood Floyd is going to a very secretive location on the moon where something is going wrong. When we reach that location, we realize that what they have discovered on the moon is the same thing that we recognize from the beginning of the movie. An astronaut touches the newest monolith and it beams a radio signal that's coming from Jupiter. This takes us into the coolest part of the movie, Discovery 1. So two incredible things are happening here. First of all, we have the story that's clearly going on. We're trying to get to Jupiter. It's the part of the grand narrative of humans journeying through space and time to evolve and venture, blah, 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 blah. But then you have the story of Hal.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
Hal is just one of the greatest villains of all time. You care about Hal and you almost feel bad for them because they can only do what they were programmed to do. This narrative is something that we are so obsessed with nowadays, and it started in the big leagues with 2001. And the fact that we get a horror movie packaged into this grand narrative, but it still fits along with the theme, that's amazing. And then we get the Stargate sequence, and then we get the alien zoo. I'm not going to go into what really happens here. Watch the movie for yourself. The visual language that is created for 2001 fits perfectly with the theme, and you can tell that the amount of care that went into getting every single thing right. It's why the technical aspect is such an important part of what that whole section of the movie is. That level of technical realism is one of the most inspiring things that 2001 gave to movies going forward. That all plays into the care that Stanley Kubrick and his team put into the visual language, and that's the other half that makes 2001 incredible. It might be best to think about three certain types of movies. The first type is the type of movie that meets you all the way. You can put it on, have a great time. I mean, this is stuff like Indiana Jones, the Ocean's movie, A Quiet Place. You don't have to really engage with the movie. The movie does most of the work. The second one is usually when you start getting people defining movies as slow. These are the movies where you have to meet them halfway. These types of movies are the ones that get you closer to the quality that a book would offer you in terms of slower pace, so that we can have scenes that get to a more intimate place with the characters. It's movies like The Assassination of Jesse James by the Coward Robert Ford, There Will Be Blood, The Seventh Seal. This is what 2001 is. And then there's the third category. It's the one where you have to meet the movie all the way. These are the movies that are known as art house movies. 2001 sits in that middle category where it meets you halfway with the story, with the visuals, with the pace, but you definitely need to go the other half of the way. 2001 was the movie in the West that showed not only there's a different type of movie out there, there's a different type of movie that we can inject that form of storytelling into the mass market, and it has given us some of the greatest movies ever made, and it all started with 2001. If you are brave enough to go along with it, the awe-inspiring joy that you get from this movie is something that you can only get from, sorry, gonna say it, cinema. It's a feeling you can't get from a book, and it's a feeling you can't get from music. It turned 53 today. Go watch it.